the story of how Honey Boo Boo, aka Alana, and her family rose to stardom. I mean, at one point, they were practically on top of the world, but then everything came crashing down for them, and you guys are never going to believe what's happening with them now. So we all know the main players in the Honey Boo Boo family: Alana, aka Honey Boo Boo herself, her mom June, and her older sister Lauren. The Thompsons rose to fame through Alana and her performance in Toddlers and Tiaras. Despite the many controversies surrounding the pageant, somehow it still paid off for Alana and her family. They got their own reality TV show spin-off, but sadly, that's when everything started to go downhill for them. For a while, it seemed like the family had everything in check. It looked like they were making use of their stardom and maybe keeping money around for when it wouldn't be so available. I mean, celebrities can go broke too, after all. Either way, back then, the kids were underaged and June usually received all of the paychecks. The family was paid about $50,000 per episode, which is a lot of money, especially when you consider how many episodes they released. So it all seemed pretty great. But things started to go downhill when June separated from her then husband in 2014. That same year, TLC announced the cancellation of Here Comes Honey Boo Boo. This happened after news came out that June was dating Mark Anthony McDaniel. Mark was convicted of inappropriately touching an 8-year-old child, if you know what I mean. This happened back in 2004, and he was a registered offender. June and Lauren denied that she was dating Mark, but in a shocking twist of events, June's eldest daughter, Jessica, came out in 2014. She revealed that she was the one that Mark had touched 10 years ago. Even with the season's worth of unreleased episodes, TLC still canceled the show, but they later released the episodes in 2017 as The Lost Episodes. After losing her husband and her main source of income in quick succession, saying that June spiraled out of control would be an understatement. She started dating Eugene Dope. Their hot and heavy relationship was on air for everyone to see from the first season of June, From Not to Hot. But this was really just the beginning. June already had a history of dating felons, and Eugene was no different. He'd been arrested and done time before. The two of them started dating in 2017, and they spent a lot of money on hard substances. In fact, at one point, June said that they both spent a whopping $150,000 in about 6 months on these substances. At first, it started with them spending $100 a day, and then it progressed to a couple of $100 a week. Eventually, it spiraled to $2,400 a day. And according to June, if they were in LA, it could go as high as $4,000 a day. They were basically draining the family's finances. And we all know that stories like this rarely end well. Aside from this, it was pretty obvious where the money to indulge in this habit came from. And by the time they got around to stopping, June shared that she had spent about $1.5 million on her substance use. In March 2019, June and Eugene were arrested for possessing hard substances. Not too long after their arrest, they decided to seek help. They checked into a rehab center, and since then, June has managed to stay clean. By June 2021, June and Eugene had split up. Apparently, it seemed like Eugene had relapsed. June also said that she had suffered some harm from him, and that was also part of why she called it quits. But the damage had already been done, and most of the family's cash had run out. Following June's arrest and rehabilitation, Lauren, her second daughter, did something unexpected. Lauren decided to get full custody of her younger sister, Alana. She got full custody of Alana, and June was supposed to pay child support. Documents presented in the court had put June's income at $25,000 a month. $1,000 came from her disability check. June is actually legally blind because of an untreated cataract from her childhood. Meanwhile, it's unclear where the other $24,000 comes from, but it's probably pretty safe to say that a good chunk of that comes from her reality TV series paycheck. By the end of the custody battle, June had to pay Lauren $800 every month in child support. All of this was already pretty bad, but there's more, because things were actually even worse. Before her split from Eugene, June found something new to spend her money on. June decided to spend $130,000 on plastic surgery on herself. She paid $15,000 for liposuction, $40,000 to fix her teeth, and then $75,000 for weight reduction surgery, skin removal, and chest augmentation. And her spending got even worse after her split from Eugene. June began spending excessive amounts of money on her boyfriends. She spent about $50,000 on cars and rent for Jordan McCollum. But she didn't stop there. What she did next was truly insane. She decided to spend even more of her money to get him some jewelry. According to Jordan, one day he came home and she had bought him over $10,000 worth of jewelry. A $5,000 chain, a $4,000 ring, and a $2,000 pendant. All that was just on one occasion. Overall, she spent about $60,000 on Jordan just for jewelry. With all that lavish spending, the family eventually found themselves in serious financial trouble. June even had to pawn off some of her items. She really hit rock bottom financially, and they're all dealing with this to this day. Right now, the family is pretty desperate for money. But what's weird is that none of them seem to be looking for an actual job. Their master plan seems to revolve revolve around asking their fans for handouts. A lot of people have watched them ask things on TikTok. For example, on TikTok Live, Lauren told her viewers that she was facing money problems. According to her car almost got repossessed because she was behind on her car payments. While she didn't outrightly ask for money, she did include her Venmo, PayPal, and Cash App details. And I don't know about you, but to me that seems like an odd way to be making money, especially as a celebrity. But she did raise about $1,000 from that TikTok Live. From what I can tell, this is pretty much how they've been making their money lately. They've just been going on social media, begging people to send them something, which just seems so ridiculous and out of touch to me. I mean, it really makes you question if they just completely lost touch with reality. It's crazy to me that they seemingly haven't even considered actually looking for a real job. That would by far be the easiest and most reliable way to bring in some income. It would just make a lot of sense, especially if they're really struggling this badly. But they just seem determined not to work at all for some reason, and it's really been putting people off them. It's just not a good look, asking people for money while not doing anything to actually earn it. I just don't get it. But anyway, what do you guys think about all this? Why do you think they seem so unwilling to get a real job? Do you think that might change in the future? And do you think what they're doing is wrong? Or do you think it's okay for them to keep asking people for money? Let me know what your thoughts are in the comments below.